What's up folks, welcome to Wasted Space and welcome back to the Starting Airsoft series. And today I am joined by a good friend of mine, Sparky, who is a fellow Airsofter and more importantly an Airsoft tech, because we're talking beginner guns. And in this case we're talking about one beginner gun in particular, this thing here, G&G CM16 Raider, which I think we both agree is kind of the best starting platform in a sort of reasonable budget, something where you're not going out to blow a huge amount of money on your first gun, which is a sensible thing to do when you don't necessarily know whether the sport's for you. So the reason we think these are great is because, let me grab one out here, it's a very simple platform. They've not gone and done anything funky or special with it. You've got a standard AR-15/M16, whatever you want to refer to it, platform with retractable stock, with the front rail, which you don't always get, and that's a nice addition, and nothing funny or weird with it. There's nothing in there that's going to get in the way of you doing upgrades, get in the way of you finding parts for the gun. If there is a complaint to be said about this, it's the fact that a lot of this is polymer. So plastic, in other words, which can be kind of a negative thing, but it does make for a very light gun, and it does, to be honest, stand up to the punishment from what we've seen so far. So the plan is simple. We're going to take these guns, and we have two because there's going to be a bit of competition here. We figured that the best way to make sure that we're doing and giving you the best advice is to get two of these things and see what both guns do, because they're not going to be the same out of the box. That's not really how Airsoft works. But also, we might not necessarily, within our budget, and we're talking a budget of about £300, $350, that sort of area, which I think is fair for a starting weapon, to take these guns from their stock positions into something that's upgraded and hopefully really good to play with. But of course, we're not going to both take the same route. There's going to be two different angles to this, and hopefully that'll be both fun to watch, but also mean that at the end we really got a bit of a definitive answer. Hey, this one does seem to be legitimately the best way to do things. So, if you're ready for a bit of competition, Miguel.
Always.
I think our beginning point is to get these things out onto the range and basically find out what are they like out of the box. That's an important thing. How much are you going to have to do to this as standard? And of course, do those things that you should always do when you first get a gun. Set up the hop up. If you've got sights, make sure that they're sighted in, and just make sure the whole gun feeds properly and there's no early problems. So if you're ready, sir, to the range.
3, 2, 1, come on.
So we're out front, we've got ourselves a 30-meter range set up. Couldn't go any further than that, but it should give us a nice place to return to as we go through with these guns and keep checking how good are they, how good have our upgrades actually really been, and more importantly, how good are these things out of the box. So that's what we're doing now. We have ourselves a winner as to who gets to pick first. I'm kind of hanging on the fact that this doesn't matter because, hey, he doesn't have the X-ray vision, neither do I, so I don't think.
Well, I can tell that that one is the better gun.
Okay.
Obviously, I mean, just look at it.
So I get this one?
Yes, you get that one because you need all the help that you can get. You get the better gun.
Okay, fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's obviously the better gun. You can tell by looking at it.
Well, this one was left on semi, and that one was left on safe. So this is clearly mine.
Yeah.
We've got our iPro, we've got our range, we've got our stupid target. Let's go and see how these things fire out the box. Get some batteries in there, get some rounds through them, see whether they're consistent or not, and then see what we can do with a few hop-up adjustments to see if that helps. And of course, check FPS out the box. Are they even going to be the same?
I doubt it.
I really doubt it as well. Come on then, let's give this a try.
Ready? Oh yeah, that one's better. Hey!
We'll compare the two, just the sounds of these. So, now let's have yours. Completely different.
That is different tone,
even just the noise is
Yeah.
different. So both guns do something when we pull the trigger. That's a good start. But next step with any new gun is to check and then set the hop up.
The one went straight down, one went over there, one went right up there, one went over there.
So consistent is what we're talking here. So it's pretty obvious that there's something wrong with Sparky's gun at this point, even though it's new out of the box. So when you are faced with this sort of thing, especially when it comes to BBs not firing cleanly, it helps to look quickly over your magazines, your battery, and even the BBs you're using, because sometimes these can cause problems. Just check everything is seated correctly and actually in the positions it should be. Have a quick look at your hop-up and your magazine, which can be done visually. But there is two of us with, as mentioned at the start, the same platform, so we do the obvious, we switch our mags around and see if that helps, because mine seems to work just fine in my gun. We also try switching our batteries around for the same reason, and finally we even try using the BBs that came in the box just to see if there's some inconsistency with the set we're using that we don't know about. Unfortunately, this is all too little avail. We can't figure out what's going on, so rather than just go in and have a look at the gun straight away, first step really is to chrono test the guns, especially as mine is fine, and then see, for a bit of a laugh admittedly, how they do over 10 shots on the range, because in the end, this is a competition and he did pick that one. That's that noise. There it is. That's painful.
So 10 shots towards the target.
Towards the target?
Towards the target, in the general direction.
But you're not planning on hitting the target?
I'm not hopeful, I'll be honest. Hit! 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 Oh,
miss.
What?
Miss.
7,
Miss.
8,
Miss. Well, these are all flopping into the ground.
10. Right. See what you can do.
Miss. Hit. 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 Miss. Miss. No. Miss. Can't see him. I'm going over.
Oh, that was over. Hey! Not bad.
She's not bad out of the box. What have you? Oh no! Only half of it fed, and most of that hit the ground about, what, 10 feet away? 15 feet away?
Can we swap guns?
No, this is mine.
It does feel like you're focusing just on the genitalia, though.
That's not the case.
Okay, good. Wow. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, oh, that was nice.
In his brain. Oh, and
Yes.
That's unfortunate. So what's your opinion, Kitty?
Unimpressed.
Good shooting?
Unimpressed.
Clearly not that good. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
All went just fine. I've got the better one for sure. I kind of screwed up there.
I would argue that I am winning on potential.
Winning on potential.
I have my gun has far more potential than yours.
Far more room to improve. Yeah. Wasn't aware that was the credit we were using.
Oh, we're not.
No. I don't think you win the competition on potential.
How many shots did you get on target? by the way? Can you remember?
I can't remember, no. I think a lot of mine ended up going over the target because my sights aren't even close to being aligned. That's one thing I might do before next game day, actually. You've got quite a lot to do before we get to go and game day with these, haven't you?
I have got a fair amount to do, yeah. I need to find out what is causing this issue.
Any thoughts?
It could be the hop-up rubber has a tear in it or something that's letting air just fly out where it shouldn't.
Killing your air seal.
Yeah, it could be the hop-up rubber is just not on properly, hopefully, it could just be take it off, put it on again. That would be the best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I think the worst case is it's something in the gearbox.
Piston or something to do with the air nozzle, perhaps, something where you actually have to open the thing up. I mean, there is the argument, of course, that we've just got these things out of the boxes, just tested them. For you guys, you could probably just take it back to the shop and say, hey, this don't work. But that isn't always an option. So I think we're going to approach this from the angle of, no, we can't replace them. We can't just take Sparky's gun back and go, well, this is rubbish. He's going to have to deal with that. That was always part of the competition side of things. And of course, in this case, he very much picked the wrong gun. I mean, you were right.
Yes, I was right. So winning on 2 counts now.
Yeah, unless you count the competition itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the competition and then there's the competition in a broader sense.
Well, one thing's for sure, this isn't a very good advertising for Airsoft as a whole. I mean, this is why this series is thick. This is why you might think, well, why don't you just show us the gun, tell us about it, and be done with it? Well, that's what a lot of unboxings, I almost call it, a lot of Airsoft reviews are like. And they're more like unboxings, really. You don't get to see this stuff. You don't get to see what happens 2 weeks later when they finally find out that actually that gun has an intrinsic deep problem.
Yeah.
And how to fix it. You don't see the full story.
I think rather than trying to sell these guns, we're trying to prepare you a little bit for Airsoft and the rigours that it involves.
Yeah, it's about giving the best advice for your starting gun. And part of that advice is, unfortunately, it's probably going to come out of the box ropey as all hell. There are going to be some problems with it. And don't think that you get away from that by buying a more expensive gun. It's not like you can go and spend the full £300 budget. Maybe this is something we can try at the end. Get a £300 gun, maybe if we only borrow one from a shop or something, and say, okay, this is what you could have bought, again, straight out of the box, and see how that is versus what we've built, because none of the Airsoft guns seem to be reliably manufactured. So you're always going through this sort of thing.
But I mean, the nice thing is that it's not beyond the realms of possibility to fix them yourself. They are.
And not too expensive either.
No, certainly.
In theory, you should be crossing your fingers, not me.
I'll be fine.
Well, on that basis, I guess, how are we going to end this? I think you need to find out, because we can't just end it on game day footage. You need to find out what's up with that thing before we can go and play with the thing. That would normally be the next step, go and try them out the box at a game day, put them through a game day's worth of BBs, and see what it's like. And I think mine's going to do okay.
Yeah,
mine's kind of reasonably consistent. The full auto performance is all right as well.
Yeah. The power's quite good.
The power, apart from I need to do a bit more chronoing. We did have one that came up above 350, which would make it not legal to use on any sites in the UK. So I would need to look and just check that there's no funny power. I don't know what it would be. There's a lot of fluctuation, it seems. But not enough that it's killing the accuracy and killing how the gun behaves. So I'm pretty sorted on that front. And you could be someone that gets lucky and gets the gun that's kind of fine out of the box, but that doesn't mean that mine's not going to be one that breaks itself when we do take it out.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
So yeah, shall we go and have a look at your gun and see if we can figure out quickly?
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
You can figure out quickly. I'm going to sit back and hold the camera. But see if he can figure out quickly what the hell it is that's up with his brand new G&G CM16 Raider.
My £120.
Well spent. Let's go then.